It is a really big decision, but right now there's no commitments. We're just exploring the possibility of separating my GJ into 2 feeding tubes. On our adventure.
Oh, you got freezing cold here.
Harlow, how much are you going to drink? Good Wednesday morning, everyone. So Harlow does this thing that I call the tank method, where instead of just getting water here and there throughout the day, she tanks up on water. And she's the first golden retriever I've ever had, so I can't be certain in this statement, but I feel like it's a golden trait because Orion does it too. But anyways, if that's how she wants to do it, so be it. As y'all may be able to tell behind me, I'm a little bit of an Amazon online shopping enthusiast, but we can't have the packages delivered to our home directly because our mailboxes don't accommodate packages, so all of the big packages go to the leasing office. And every once in a while, Judd will come back from the leasing office with like so many boxes, and last night I was too tired to deal with it, so I'm gonna go through them and see what I ordered. I actually opened this box yesterday because it had our sheets in it for our new bed coming tomorrow. The sheet set is a little different because we got a split king. So instead of 1 fitted sheet, it has 2 fitted sheets for each side of the bed and then 1 big sheet and 2 pillowcases. So we opened it last night because Judd washed it. So it's nice and clean when our bed arrives tomorrow. How exciting. Okay, and then these are just 50 velvet coat hangers because we never have enough coat hangers, it seems. Oh my goodness. I've been so excited for this. This is my squatty potty. I don't know if y'all have heard of the squatty potty, but basically you sit on it like that with the toilet and it helps you poop. And sorry if this is getting graphic, but like I literally cannot go unless I have my feet elevated. I've been using a stool, but I think this is gonna fit much better in our bathroom. And it came with, it says, focus. Won't focus. Haha, I pooped. So today is a combination of taking it easy and getting some things done around the house. I gotta find that balance of rest and productivity because my body's pretty fatigued and hurting a bit more than usual because of the past 2 busy days. And this weekend, Judd and I are going to Orlando to see his family. So I really need to rest up for that. But there are some things I want to get done around the house, like cleaning. I want to do my exercises today. Got this. Breaks and a little power nap after all of it, I was able to do my exercises and get some cleaning done. I couldn't do as much exercising as I wanted to, but something is better than nothing. And now I am increasing the rate again on my feeding tube pump, trying to get to that day feed goal rate, which is higher than I've ever been before. Right now, I'm higher than I've ever been before and still tolerating well, as long as I increase it slowly. Well, I just got to hook up to my infusion, and then I have some info to share with y'all. Infusion check. So if y'all remember, I went to my GI doctor on Monday, and there was some information I wasn't quite ready to share with y'all because I needed more details on it, and I just needed time to process it for myself. I've done that. I'm ready to let y'all know what's going on. It's nothing scary or drastic. It's just good and bad news. So I asked my doctor, what happens if my feeding tube kinks again? And he said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. that's the bad news, and bear with me as I try to explain why. As y'all know, I have a GJ feeding tube. This is what we see on the outside. Here's the balloon that anchors it in place. The gastric part ends in my stomach so I can vent and drain content, and then the jejunal tubing continues all the way into my small intestine. Now, because of my anatomy is a little weird and I'm small, when my doctor was placing my stoma in my stomach, which is the hole into my stomach where the feeding tube goes through, he only had a few inches of surface area to work with. And unfortunately, that area was over here. Ideally, the stoma is somewhere in this location, so the jejunal tubing can just go straight to the intestines. But since the only area we had to work with was over here, the jejunal tubing has to do this U-turn, and that's why it's going to kink. It's inevitable. When I went to the interventional radiology department at the hospital when my feeding tube kinked last time, they told me the same exact thing. It's just my doctor explained it to where I understood it better. So what are we going to do? Well, I've already had 2 different types of feeding tubes and they've both kinked. So we don't think the type of feeding tube is gonna make all that much of a difference. He did clip the end of the jejunal tubing to my intestines this time when he placed this specific feeding tube. So we're hoping that's gonna help. And I'm now checking the volume in the balloon regularly. I thought that was gonna fix the kinking issues, but I misunderstood. That's just hopefully going to help as well. So right now we're just waiting to see how things go, but if the kinking is going to be a frequent issue, that's not something I can comfortably live with. I mean, y'all saw how difficult it was the last time. So something my GI wanted me to think about was separating my GJ. So I would keep the stoma in my stomach for a G-tube. That way I can vent excess stomach acid and trapped air, because without the ability to do that, my symptoms are pretty unbearable. And then I would get another stoma right where my jejunum is for a straight J tube to run my nutrition. Essentially, I'd have 2 stomas and 2 feeding tubes. That may seem like a simple fix, but it's not really, because 2 stomas means twice as many possible complications. Plus, my body does not heal well because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So there's that issue in relation to any surgery I do. Plus, the J-tube surgery seems to be a bit more extensive than what I went through to get this feeding tube placed. My GI was able to place this one for me, but I'd have to consult with a surgeon about the J-tube. Of course, there are positives as well. With the separated J-tube, it's less likely to clog and less likely to kink because we don't have to worry about the U-turn in the jejunal tubing that my current GJ does. I spoke to my family about this, and Judd is worried about the surgery, which I am too. My mom wants me to get it done because she saw how bad I got when my feeding tube kinked last time. I can't always get in right away for them to repair the tube or replace it, so I get very weak. I feel terrible. I'm not getting enough nutrition. I lose weight that I work really hard to maintain. So I can see both sides, but honestly, right now I am not convinced that this is the right choice. Thankfully, my doctor understands my apprehension. This is never something he would force on me. We both have to be comfortable and confident that this is the right choice. So I haven't committed to anything, though I did agree to speak with a surgeon so I could learn more about the procedure. But like I said, we're just waiting to see how things go with this feeding tube, and I'm receiving nutrition. Doing this would be more of a quality of life thing and ensuring I don't go periods of time without my very important nutrition. It's not an emergency, which makes me feel a lot better because there's no pressure to decide right away. I can take my time, speak with my doctor more, meet with the surgeon, and just see where things go from there. So that's the update on my feeding tube journey. It is a really big decision, but right now there's no commitments. We're just exploring the possibility of separating my GJ into 2 feeding tubes.
I love the eyes.
Oh. I know you want to come on the bed, but there's no room for you because I've got a lot of laundry to fold. Okay, hop. Laundry's done. So this is a laundry bag I got off Amazon, and yes, Harley, we're very interested. I got it so I could put my 2B pads in here, and Harlow wouldn't get lost in the wash, and they come out great because they're so tiny. Sometimes they get lost, but this kept them all together. Harlow, this is not for you. Get your nose out of here. Do you love my elephant blanket as much as I do? You do, don't you? I am ready to go to bed, and honestly, I'm upset about this situation with my feeding tube. I am thankful for my tube. It helps tremendously. I don't know where I'd be without it, honestly. But even with all that being said, it took a lot to acclimate to the feeding tube. It was as much of a physical change to my body. It was a mental preparedness. I had to prepare myself to some degree. And thinking of having to go through it again and get another stoma possibility, I just would like to avoid it at all costs and see if we can figure out a way to make my GJ work. But for right now, it's running nutrition well. It's venting from the G-port well. So, like I said, just waiting to see how things go. So I am stressed about the whole thing. I mean, it's really disappointing. But in the end, I'm sure we're going to find the best solution. And I've decided not to dwell on it too much because it's just something we're exploring. Nothing has been determined, and we're trying to make my GJ work out if at all possible. So that makes me happy. I'm going to watch Up because I love that movie and that'll cheer me up. I'm snuggling with Harlow. Harlow, tomorrow our new bed comes in. That's exciting. Another thing to look forward to. So with that, I will say goodnight and thanks for joining us on our adventure.